Hi everyone, welcome back. Do you want to customize the Vue MultiSelect Dropdown component? Then you must watch this video to learn how easily you can customize the MultiSelect Dropdown component using built-in templates option in the Vue MultiSelect Dropdown of Syncfusion. The MultiSelect Dropdown supports several options to customize each list items, group title, header, and footer elements. Look at this online example. You can see the MultiSelect dropdown pop-up showing web platform names and images. Here, each list item is split into two columns to display web platform name and image. Also, you can see the MultiSelect dropdown pop-up shows customized header and footer. Okay, now I will proceed to show you the code snippet to achieve this customization using my existing Getting Started application. Let me open my existing Getting Started application where I have added the Vue MultiSelect dropdown with remote data. If you want to know how to create a simple Vue MultiSelect dropdown, you can listen to my Getting Started video, the link for which is shown in the above YouTube card. Also, you can download this existing Getting Started example from the GitHub link, which I have shared in the description part below. Here, to have better clarity, I am replacing the remote data with JSON data collection, which contains an array of objects with two fields, namely name and ID. Also, I have mapped name field to text property and ID field to value property. I have assigned web platform names to data source. So, let me change the placeholder property value as select a platform. Also, ensure whether this data item and data fields variables are assigned to the data source and fields property of the MultiSelect dropdown. So here, you can see the MultiSelect dropdown showing web platform names. Now, I will show you how to add images for MultiSelect dropdown items. To customize MultiSelect dropdown items within the data function, first I need to define a variable MultiSelect item template. Now, I will start to define the template. Here, I have planned to display web platform name and image in MultiSelect dropdown items. So, let me define div and span elements. To add web platform image, I need to modify the existing data source by adding one more field image with appropriate values. Then, I will assign this newly defined data source field image to class attribute, as I am going to use background image attribute to add image to span elements. To add web platform name in MultiSelect dropdown item, I need to assign name field to another span element. Now, let me assign this variable MultiSelect item template to item template property of the MultiSelect dropdown. Also, I have defined few CSS styles for this item template. So here, you can see the MultiSelect dropdown component showing web platform names and images. Now, let me proceed to show you how to add header for the MultiSelect dropdown pop-up. To add header for MultiSelect dropdown pop-up, inside the data function, first I need to define a variable MultiSelect header template. Then, I will start to define the template now. Here, I am planning to display the text, photo and platform as header in MultiSelect dropdown pop-up. So, let me define span elements with the text, photo and platform. Okay, now I need to assign this variable MultiSelect header template to header template property. Also, I have defined few CSS styles for this header template. And now, you can see the MultiSelect dropdown component where the pop-up is displayed with the text, photo and platform as header. In case, if you would like to show total list items count at the bottom of the pop-up, then you can make use of footer template property. To set footer for MultiSelect dropdown pop-up, within the data function, let me define a variable MultiSelect footer template. Then, to display total list items count in MultiSelect dropdown pop-up, I need to define span element with the text, total list items 5. Now, I will assign this variable MultiSelect footer template to footer template property. Also, I have defined few CSS styles for this footer template. So now, look at the MultiSelect dropdown component where the pop-up is displayed with the text total list items 5 at the bottom of the pop-up. Next, I will show you how to customize the MultiSelect dropdown selected value. Here, to have better clarity and focus on value template, I am going to remove the code snippet of the properties, item template, header template, and footer template. Then, I have planned to display employee name with designation while selecting the values. For that, first I need to replace the existing data source with employee JSON data source, which contains an array of objects with 3 fields, namely name, ID, and designation. Also, ensure whether these name and ID fields are assigned to text and value properties respectively. Now, I will start to define the template. So, within the data function, let me define a variable MultiSelect value template. Then, I need to define span element and access data source fields, name and designation to add employee name and designation in MultiSelect dropdown selected values. Now, let me assign this variable MultiSelect value template to value template property. So here, you can see the MultiSelect dropdown. When I select the item, the selected value shows employee name with designation. Finally, let me show you the steps to group these items using group template property. To group the data items, first, I need to define one more field country with appropriate values on each object of the existing data source. Then, I will map this newly defined data source field country to the group by option within the fields property of MultiSelect dropdown component. Now, I have planned to display country names in bold and italic font. So, let me define a variable MultiSelect group template and add HTML elements bold and italic to it. To access the country name, let me assign the data source field country inside the HTML elements. Now, I need to assign this variable MultiSelect group template to group template property. When you look at the MultiSelect dropdown, the data items are grouped under the category USA and England with bold and italic font. Okay, let me summarize some of the important points now. We have seen how to customize the Vue MultiSelect dropdown items as well as selected value. Also, we have seen how to add header and footer for the MultiSelect dropdown pop-up and how to customize the MultiSelect dropdown group title. If you would like to see the working of this example, you can download it from the GitHub link which is shared in the description part below. If you find this video as useful, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching this video.